Have you ever felt a little twinge, a little ache, a little, that's odd, and just brushed it off? Maybe you told yourself you were too busy to worry about it. Maybe you didn't want to bother the doctor over something small. If that sounds familiar, stay with me for the next few minutes, because today we're going to walk through the symptoms that doctors say you should never wave away, even if they seem minor. Some of these might surprise you. One of them, in particular, is something almost everyone over 60 has felt at least once and dismissed without a second thought. So let's get into it. Let's start with something so common that most people don't even think of it as a symptom at all. Unexplained fatigue. Not the "I stayed up late" kind of tired. The kind where you sleep a full night and still wake up feeling like you never went to bed. A lot of people chalk this up to getting older, and sure, energy levels can shift with age. But when tiredness sticks around for weeks, some research suggests it can be your body's way of flagging something deeper, like a thyroid imbalance, anemia, or even early signs of heart strain. The key word here is persistent. A tired afternoon is normal. A tired month is worth a conversation with your doctor. Now here's something most people don't expect to hear on a list like this: changes in your handwriting. It sounds almost too small to matter, right? But doctors have noted that when handwriting starts to shrink, get shaky, or become harder to control, it can sometimes be an early sign worth paying attention to, especially when it comes to nervous system health. Now, before you panic, this doesn't mean every messy signature is a red flag, but if you notice a real change from how you used to write, not just a bad day with a pen, that's a detail worth mentioning at your next appointment. Keep that one in mind, because in a minute, we're going to talk about a symptom that's just as easy to overlook, but even more commonly ignored. Let's talk about swelling in your legs or ankles, especially if it shows up in the evening. Almost everyone has had puffy ankles after a long day on their feet, and most of the time, that really is nothing serious. But when the swelling doesn't go down overnight, or when it starts happening on one side more than the other, that's a different story. Some studies suggest this kind of swelling can be connected to how well your heart and kidneys are managing fluid in your body. It doesn't mean something is definitely wrong. It means it's worth checking. And that brings us to a symptom that's almost the opposite. Not too much fluid, but too little awareness of your own balance. Have you noticed yourself holding onto the wall a little more than you used to? Or feeling unsteady getting out of a chair? A lot of people quietly adjust their habits around this instead of mentioning it to anyone. They just move a little slower or start using the railing every time and never bring it up at a checkup. But doctors say changes in balance are one of the most underreported symptoms out there because people assume it's just a normal part of aging. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's connected to inner ear changes, blood pressure shifts, or medication side effects that can actually be addressed. If this is something you've noticed in yourself or in someone you love, it might be worth writing down when it happens and how often, so you have real information to share with a doctor instead of just a vague feeling. Here's one that catches a lot of people off guard: changes in your sense of smell. It doesn't sound like a big deal at first. Maybe your coffee doesn't smell as strong as it used to, or you can't quite catch the scent of flowers in the garden anymore. But researchers have been paying closer attention to this one, because a noticeable and lasting drop in smell has shown up in some studies as an early marker worth watching, particularly for brain health. Again, this isn't about one-off day where your nose feels stuffy. It's about a clear, lasting change over time. If you've noticed this, it's a simple thing to mention at your next visit, and it costs you nothing to bring it up. Let's shift to something people almost never connect to their overall health: how well you sleep. Specifically, snoring paired with gasping or choking sounds during the night. If you sleep alone, you might not even know this is happening to you. But if a partner or family member has mentioned it, please don't brush it off as just snoring. Some research points to this pattern as a possible sign of interrupted breathing during sleep, which over time may affect your heart and your energy levels during the day. The good news is, this is one of the more treatable items on this list once it's identified, but it has to be identified first, and that starts with someone actually mentioning it out loud. Now, here's one that's easy to explain away with 100 innocent reasons: unexplained weight change, especially weight loss you didn't try for. If you've lost several pounds without changing your eating or activity, and you can't quite explain why, that's worth a conversation. It's tempting to think, well, that's actually good news. I don't have to try as hard. But doctors generally want to understand the why behind any unexplained change, because your body doesn't usually shift its weight for no reason at all. The same goes, by the way, for unexplained weight gain that shows up quickly rather than gradually. Let's talk about something almost everyone has felt and almost everyone ignores. Occasional shortness of breath during activities that used to feel easy. Climbing the same stairs you've climbed for years, but suddenly needing to pause halfway. Carrying groceries in from the car and feeling more winded than you remember. It's easy to blame this on the weather, or a bad night's sleep, or just having an off day, and sometimes that really is all it is. But when it becomes a pattern rather than a one-time thing, some research suggests it's worth having your heart and lungs checked, simply to rule out anything that might benefit from early attention. Here's a subtle one. Changes in your vision that come on gradually, like needing more light to read, or noticing colors seem a little less vivid than they used to. Because these changes happen slowly, it's incredibly easy to adjust without even realizing you're adjusting. You just turn on a brighter lamp. You just hold the paper a little closer. But gradual vision changes are one of the easiest things to have checked, and catching them early can make a real difference in how they're managed going forward. And finally, let's talk about the one that ties all of these together, a change from your own normal. Not a symptom on a chart, but a shift in how you feel compared to how you usually feel. Doctors often say that patients know their own bodies better than any test can show on a given day, and if something feels different, that instinct is worth trusting. You don't need to have a name for it. You don't need to be certain it's serious. You just need to be willing to say it out loud to someone who can help you figure it out. So here's the real takeaway from everything we've covered today. None of these symptoms on their own are a guarantee that something is wrong. Most of the time, there's a simple explanation. But doctors consistently say that catching potential issues early gives you far more options than waiting until something becomes impossible to ignore. The cost of mentioning a small symptom at your next appointment is a few extra minutes of conversation. The cost of ignoring one for months or years can be much higher. So if anything on this list sounded familiar to you today, do yourself a favor and write it down before you forget, so you can bring it up the next time you see your doctor. If this video helped you feel a little more prepared to speak up for your own health, that's exactly why we make these. Take a moment to like this video so more people your age can find it. And if you have a symptom you've been quietly wondering about, drop it in the comments. You might be surprised how many other people are wondering the exact same thing. And if you want more videos like this one, breaking down what your body might be trying to tell you, go ahead and subscribe, because we've got a lot more of these conversations coming.